Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the PLA podcast. I have an incredible guest here that I'm so excited to interview today, a person with true heart and so much integrity. Naveen, welcome to the PLA podcast.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dunia, for having me here.
It's such a treat to have you on here. And I would love to formally introduce you to our audience as they haven't had the absolute privilege that we've had, including myself at PLA, of getting to know you more so. So I'd love to run them through your story, a little bit about you. So, welcome to the podcast, Naveen Kannam. Naveen is a seasoned data and analytics professional with over 11 years of experience in the financial services industry. Currently serves as a principal associate in data analytics, recognized for his ability to transform complex data into meaningful strategic insights. He began his career at the intersection of technology and business, earning a reputation for analytical rigor, collaborative leadership, and decision driven problem solving. He contributed to major initiatives in enterprise reporting, governance frameworks, and large scale data driven transformations. He combines strong technical expertise with a clear business mindset, always focused on clarity, purpose, and measurable value creation. A lifelong learner and active mentee, passionate about exploring how data, AI, and innovation are reshaping decision making. Outside of work, he enjoys playing cricket, experimenting in the kitchen, traveling, and building meaningful connections that inspire him to grow. Naveen's story reflects curiosity, adaptability, and deep commitment to making data truly work for people. Naveen, welcome to the PLA podcast.
Thank you so much, Dunia. That was such a kind introduction, and I'm truly grateful for the opportunity to be here today. And I had to say this, Dunia, the way you introduced my background was spot on, and I might have to borrow that introduction for my next team meeting.
You're always welcome to. You can just clip it and play it. This is your story, Naveen. I mean, it's such a treat to be able to read it out so our guests can really get to know you.
Thank you.
It's a true treat. I'd love for you to share with us where the story originally started. Take us to the very, very beginning of your career.
Yeah, thanks for asking. So my journey actually started at the crossroads of business and technology. So where I became fascinated about how data could shape decisions, right? So early on, I was amazed that just a few lines of code, the scripts that we write and the data trends that we look at, could completely change the business thinkings or like the way they act, right? So while I was working with financial data, I learned that numbers tell stories about customer behavior, the risk, and the growth. If you know, like how to listen to the data stories, right? But I still remember one of the project where I was analyzing control exceptions, and I found recurring manual overrides in the approvals. What seemed initially was like a minor issue, and then at the first, and then turned out to be, there is a gap, and it could reveal like compliance and financial risks, right? So that's when it clicked for me that. Data can protect business and just not just like reporting on it. So from there on, I was hooked, and I realized analytics isn't just about reporting; it's about creating clarity, solving problems, and driving real meaningful outcomes.
Beautiful. Incredible. And very well said and articulated, Naveen. I'd be curious to know, now with all this experience, this experience that you've gained through working on these projects, through handling these challenges and coming up with solutions while working with incredible colleagues over the years. I'd be curious to know what is one piece of advice you wish you had heard at the very beginning of your career, knowing everything that you know now?
That's a great question, and honestly, that's a lot. I would love to go back and redo if I had a time machine for my career, right? So if I could give my younger self one piece of advice, it would be don't chase perfection, chase progress. So early on, I used to spend so much of time polishing, the reports that I generate, tweaking every chart, every visualization that I build in dashboards, line of code,
Yeah.
uh, before showing it to anyone for anyone, right? But I learned that the real growth happens when you share them early,
Mhm.
and get feedback, and keep improving, right? So that will actually build the trust in customers, and also, like, make meaningful progress. So, and one more thing I wish I would have learned sooner is the power of storytelling with data is as much as important as the analysis itself, right? So you can have the best insights in the world from your analysis, but if you fail to tell a data story, then your leadership teams or business teams can take advantage of the analysis that you perform, right? So I think those are the two things that I would list.
That's amazing. And, now that we, have these young engineers and professionals entering the field in a time that's changing more than ever, really, post pandemic, we have now the onset of AI. They're probably overwhelmed already jumping into their new careers. What would you want to share with them?
Uh, yeah, I would say always start with why, not the how, because don't just, like, learning tools, like, we have many analytical tools here, right? But the main thing comes into the picture is, like, learn how to understand the problems that business is trying to solve, right? So be curious, and ask better questions, like, that's what differentiates great analysts apart, right? And also, like, staying adaptable to the technology, right? Like, to the new technology, like, because the tools keep changing from Excel to SQL to Python to AI, all that, right? Like, but the mindset of learning and connecting with the dots is what keeps you relevant. And finally, like, share what you learn, right? Teaching others of or even talking about your project, what you have accomplished, also helps you grow faster. That's what I would like to share.
Amazing, Naveen. And it's right, you're right. Starting with why. Why are they in the field? Why have they chosen this path? Why have they chosen this particular career or company or project? So important, especially if they've had the luxury of choosing to connect back with that piece. And that piece around creativity and adaptability is essential in today's world, as you've mentioned. And it's really going to serve them throughout their career, a muscle that they can build over time and far more experience. You know, we oftentimes talk about these highlights of one's career, and obviously no young professional wants to think about the challenges that are still to come. And yet, looking back at our careers, oftentimes it's through the challenges that we've grown so much, and we've evolved, and it's our challenges that serve us. So I'd love to know, what were the greatest challenges of your own journey and career?
Oh man. So there were so many challenges, and just as many lessons learned along the way too. So honestly, every day with how the fast technology and AI are evolving, every day still feels like a new lesson learned for me. It's a learning curve for me, right? But I had to pick. If I had to pick, like, one of the big challenge, it would be um, keeping up with the change, right? The adaptability. So I've seen analytics evolve from manual SQL query reports to cloud platforms and AI-driven automations in just few years, right? So at first it felt like overwhelming, but over time I learned to see, changes like not a disruption, but as a chance to learn and reinvent myself and grow. So another big one that I could pick is influencing without authority, right? Like, so many times in your workplaces, I had an opportunity to work with many teams, right? They are not, like, reportees to me, but I still have to influence to bring the changes that we are aiming for in the workplace. So having that communication skills to really influence and bring the change uh, uh, is also really important. And And I think building relationships is also critical. So that's one of the challenges that I have faced early in my career, and now I try to maintain those relationships at work with empathy, right? Like, so data and the insights don't actually help them to do, right? Like, you need to build relationships, build the trust with stakeholders to influence them with your insights.
Fantastic, Naveen. And it's so true. I love that piece of influencing without authority. So many times we forget about the influence we bring to the team or to the organization, corporation, and just our presence, our values, how we show up, our work ethic. It really creates such a difference for all those we come across in the office or even in for our virtual space, like our teams, our meetings, etc., our Zoom and virtual conversations. And the way we show up has a far greater impact than we ever realize in the moment. And so I think there's such an important point that you just brought up, and those relationships. What are we doing to invest in these relationships that are going to have an impact on the rest of our careers? You may talk to someone you worked with 10, 15 years ago and have this amazing conversation about a project you worked on then, and you may both have grown, moved on to other organizations and projects, and those relationships, though, how we made people feel, that lasts forever. And I love that you bring that up.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm glad that I'm bringing my perspectives here. Like, yeah.
It's amazing. And we have obviously seen this huge change in all industries with the onset of AI, and I'd love to get your perspective on how it's affected the industry, how it's affected your work, and what you see for it, really.
Oh man, so AI has become a huge topic now, and when I think about AI, the first thing that comes to my mind was, wow, it's everywhere now, right? But more importantly, it's about how responsibly are we using AI, right? So that actually clicked me. Like, we can mislead or, like, misuse the power of AI. AI is definitely a powerful tool, but how responsibly are we using it at our workplaces, right? Especially when we work in banks and financial institutions, like, when we deal with sensitive data. So that's something that I would think of, like, when you start talking about AI. And I truly believe AI should empower people, not replacing them, right? Like, so coming to data analytics field, like, first we thought, like, okay, AI is going to come and replace all the DA jobs, analytical jobs. But I don't think AI will replace DA jobs. It will actually make life simpler of DAs, reducing the burden of the data analyst. Like, writing it might, AI tools like help us, like, generating code. Like, we give the inputs. The more we feed, the more we train the model, it will give us the latest results, and which can create high value to our work, right? Uh, so basically, like, what I want to say is, in financial services, responsible AI can help deliver personalized and relevant experiences, like, for customers, turning data into actions that actually make their lives easier. So I see AI as a amplifier for human potential, helping us move from hindsight to a foresight, right? From just reporting what just happened to predicting what could happen next. So that is one thing, that I can think of when we talk about AI. And then, one thing that comes to my mind was, AI alone isn't just the full answer here, right? A human judgment, and the ethics and the creativity of human, what turns those analytical insights into a meaningful decisions, right? So I think it's a combination of all together. Like, it's not just AI.
Absolutely. I love that originally there was a fear that it would take away jobs, but what you're sharing with us is, especially with DA jobs, it's actually going to relieve this burden, and it allow them even probably even more space to work on multiple projects at once, go through a lot more data at once. There's something quite powerful and just a shift in perspective of saying instead of being afraid, should be a tool that we should really be embracing fully.
Yep, that's true. Yep.
That's amazing. I'm so curious. We have been so much on we've been talking over and over again throughout this session and this podcast episode. We are talking on the PLA podcast, and I would be so curious to hear what has originally brought you to PLA, and what has been the biggest insight or takeaway you have gotten out of it.
So it's a story that happened at 4 a.m. So I was, I think, during the Thanksgiving holiday time, I was scrolling down the reels in my Insta, and that's where the PLA actually the thought started. So I watched this advertisement, and then I thought, like, what it takes, like, what am I going to lose if I try it, right? So that's where the starting point was. And then next week I was on the challenge, the 5-day challenge, what the program planned to do, right? So I put at first I thought, okay, I'm gonna attend like first 2 days and probably not like the whole week of the challenge. But you know what, the first day energy that I got from the challenge day gave me that push to continue and attend all the 5 days. Yeah, because the challenge part was like I'm traveling to India the very next week, and I haven't shopped. I haven't. There are multiple things that I need to like prepare for the travel, and I was like 50-50. Oh, okay, I'm gonna attend, but not, maybe not like the whole week, but you know what, like I attended all 5 days of the challenge, and that mindset shift happened to me. And I see the same mindset shift happens to me every with every PLA session that I attend. So far it's been a great experience, and it unlocks the true potential of me. Like, I always have this question, like, can I do this, like, oh, can I achieve this, or what if I don't, like, what if I so I think with PLA there is no what ifs. Just do it.
Wow.
So that's one thing that I greatly see, a big change in me, like, ever since I've joined. So that's what I want to share. Yeah.
Incredible, Naveen. I love this answer, and you're such a great speaker. That flow you are just on, I was just listening and on, and I know that people listening were just imagining you scrolling in the middle of the night, and they were right there with you. What I love about your story is actually not about PLA. What I love about your story is about you. And it's such a testament to your open mindedness, your willingness to try, and your tenacity. Even though here you have a major trip scheduled the following week, you said, no, I saw the value out of this, and I'm going to commit to doing all 5 days because I am going to bet on myself first. And so many people out there, actually, the grand majority, will never do this in a lifetime. So I really want to take a moment and applaud you on this because it really shows the level of excellence that you work at and that you operate from, and the dedication that you have to your dreams and goals. And that's why you will be very, very successful in this lifetime. I have no doubt about it, Naveen.
Thank you so much, Dunia. Yeah, for having that faith in me, and we'll continue to work together. And yeah, and thank you for having me here today. And I really appreciate your insightful questions and the meaningful conversations. So you really made it easy for me to share my perspective. And thank you again for the opportunity to be part of your show.
Oh, such a treat, Naveen. And we will have you on again for the PLA podcast for sure. I do want to ask you, though, our final and favorite question on the PLA podcast. What is the legacy and impact you're still excited and looking forward to leaving behind in this world?
Uh, that's a thoughtful question too. Honestly, I feel like I still have a long way to go. It's only been a little over a decade in my journey, So I'm still learning and evolving every day, right? So but if I think about the kind of impact I would build over time, was it would be like, making analytics simpler and more relatable, and helping people to see data as a decision making tool, not just like numbers on dashboards, right? So that's one thing that I wanted to leave behind. And personally, I would love to give back through learning and mentorship programs through someday, like, when I get to that level of mentor level, maybe helping students, or like, the new early career professionals, like, exploring data and AI with curiosity and confidence, the same way I continue to learn from others today. So that is something that I would like to leave behind. Yeah.
Beautiful. It's such a testament to your heart and wanting to give back in some ways. And from having received so much in your own career, it's beautiful to see that change and transformation keep moving through. It's been an absolute treat having you on the PLA podcast, truly, Naveen. And I really want to thank you for your time, for sharing with us all your insights, your stories, your value, your experience. It's been a total treat to have you on here.
No problem. Yeah, thank you again for the opportunity, and making me be part of your show. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, it's been amazing. For anyone who is curious and has never heard of PLA before, I will put a QR code that's actually going to lead you to the exact training that Naveen mentioned earlier on the PLA podcast without even me knowing, which is so funny. I love it. So this is the PLA podcast of free training. It's actually not the podcast free training, it's the PLA community free training. Every single person, including myself, that has attended this training multiple times over again has been absolutely blown away from the value that's provided and the tools that are implementable right away. You will see results by the time day 5 has hit, which is, really unheard of in this industry. So I'm putting this out there for anyone who is simply curious. It's a totally free training that PLA offers, which is such a gift to the community and the greater good. And so just wanted to take a moment and just say thank you again, Naveen, for being here today.
Thank you.
And everyone, we will catch you all for the next episode of the PLA podcast.